welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving headfirst into the future of English.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, buckle up, because we're exploring how AI might be on the verge of, rewriting the dictionary.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about some fancy new grammar checker, right?
Right.
Think less spell check, more rewriting the rules of the game entirely.
Exactly. We're talking about AI that doesn't just use English, but actually starts to shape how it evolves.
Yeah.
To help us decode this, we're tapping into the brilliant mind of Szymon Makachewski. He's an expert in academic technology and learning innovation, and he's got some seriously thought-provoking ideas.
He does. He really does.
His latest article.
Yeah, his article really throws down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
He argues that we should think of English as a programming language for human ideas.
Okay, English is code. That sounds a little out there.
It does.
Right.
But stick with me.
Okay.
Think about it. In coding, you use specific languages to give instructions to a computer, right?
Yeah.
While English at its core, it's how we transfer incredibly complex thoughts from one brain to another.
So instead of ones and zeros, we're using nouns, verbs, and the occasional, well-placed emoji.
Precisely. Each word, each grammatical rule, it's all part of this system for encoding and decoding meaning.
Okay.
When you tell someone about your day, you're essentially trying to program your experiences into their understanding.
Wow, and I thought I was just being chatty.
Right.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just like a program can be elegant and efficient or clunky and confusing,
Totally.
our use of English can really impact how well we get our ideas across.
Exactly. And here's where Makachewski's argument gets really interesting.
Okay.
If English is like a code, then AI, with its ability to analyze and generate language on a massive scale, could become the ultimate programmer.
Okay, now that is where things start to feel futuristic.
Right.
So what's the next step? AI starts releasing English updates like software patches.
In a way, yes. Makachewski calls it English 2.0, this potential future where AI helps standardize and optimize how we communicate.
English 2.0 bought out 2.0.
Yeah.
It even sounds upgraded. But should we be excited about this or a little bit terrified? I mean, we've all seen those sci-fi movies where AI takes over, and it rarely ends well for plain old humans speaking English 1.0.
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Right.
We have to consider the potential downsides, and that's where another kind of big thinker comes to mind, George Orwell.
Orwell.
Yeah.
Right. Big Brother and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, for those who haven't read 1984, no judgment, there's still time.
Right.
Give us the crash course.
Yeah.
How does language play into Orwell's dystopia?
Well, in Orwell's world, there's this language called newspeak, right?
Okay.
Created by this all-powerful government to, control thought. It's all about simplification.
Okay.
Narrowing down vocabulary, removing shades of meaning,
So instead of debating the nuances of some really complex issue, you're stuck with 3 approved words to express yourself?
Exactly.
Wow.
The idea is chilling because the more limited the language is, the less able people are to even conceive of rebellion or dissent.
Right.
Their thoughts are literally boxed in by the words they have available.
That's seriously creepy. And you know what? It's not that far off from things happening today.
Right.
Think about how certain groups try to control the narrative by, dictating what words we can and can't use. Or even just the way algorithms prioritize certain types of content online, shaping what information we're exposed to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's kind of everywhere when you start to think about it.
It really is, yeah.
And that's the unsettling parallel, I think, that Makachewski draws with this potential English 2.0, right?
Yep.
It's not about some, evil AI forcing us to speak in bland sentences.
No,
At least not directly, right?
Right.
It's about the subtle ways in which prioritizing efficiency and clarity above all else might actually make language less expressive.
Totally.
Less human,
Less human.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We always think about AI as this tool for better communication, but what if, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, what if, by making language better, we actually lose something essential about what makes it human in the first place?
It's a valid concern.
Right.
Imagine a world where everyone writes in the same style, using the same kind of limited vocabulary, all thanks to AI writing assistants, It might be objectively better in terms of, clarity and conciseness.
Sure.
But would it be as interesting, as creative? as human.
That's a bit of a gut punch.
Right.
Like, we might solve for miscommunication, but end up with this bland, sterile way of expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
Not exactly the vibrant tapestry of human expression, is it?
No, not quite. No.
But before we spiral into a dystopian nightmare, let's flip the script.
Okay, yeah.
Makajewski doesn't just highlight the risks, does he?
He doesn't, no.
There's also huge potential upside to this technology, right?
Absolutely. Honestly, it's some of the most exciting stuff happening in the field right now.
So, less Orwell, more utopian future. I like it. Give me some hope here.
Well, imagine this, right? You're having a real-time conversation with someone across the globe.
Okay.
And not just through some, like, clunky translation app, right?
Yeah.
We're talking nuanced, emotionally accurate communication as if language barriers were never even a thing.
Right.
That's the kind of future AI-powered English could unlock.
Okay, now that you mention it, that would be a game changer.
Right.
I mean, think about the potential for global collaboration, for understanding across cultures. It's huge.
It is, yeah, and it goes beyond just casual conversation.
Right.
Imagine scientific papers, right? So crystal clear that it drastically reduces misinterpretations and accelerates breakthroughs.
Right.
Think of legal documents that are just like totally unambiguous,
Yeah.
making justice more accessible to everyone. The applications are like mind-boggling.
It's like we could be on the cusp of this like era of shared understanding, all thanks to AI giving English an upgrade.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, if AI gets this good at language, what happens to, well, us?
Yeah.
What skills do we need to thrive in an English 2.0 world?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Education needs a serious rethink. If AI is crafting, like, perfect essays, are we focusing on the wrong things in school?
Right.
Maybe it becomes less about mastering the mechanics of writing.
Yeah. And more about the things AI can't do, critical thinking, creativity, empathy, that kind of stuff.
It's almost like we need to, like, level up our human skills, right? Because those are going to matter more than ever.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Makajewski's article, he takes it even further, doesn't it?
He does, yeah.
It starts talking about a future where we move beyond traditional language entirely.
Yeah, like...
Which is kind of a mind-blowing thought.
It is. It is.
He dives into this concept of brain-computer interfaces, essentially a direct line from your thoughts to digital communication.
Right.
Think about it. What if, instead of struggling to find the right words, you could just think an idea and have it, like, perfectly understood by someone else anywhere in the world?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's a huge idea. Okay, now we're getting into the realm of, like, telepathy.
Right.
While that sounds incredible, part of me can't help but feel a little uneasy.
Sure.
I mean, what happens to the beauty of language, the art of crafting the perfect sentence?
It's a valid concern, and Makajewski acknowledges that, you know.
Yes.
He's not saying this is the future,
Right.
but he wants us to consider the possibilities
Right.
and more importantly, the potential pitfalls.
Right, because if technology starts shaping not just how we communicate, but the very thoughts we are able to have.
Right.
That's a whole new ballgame.
It is, yeah.
That's a lot to process.
Totally.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive view, what's the key takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that, like, the future of English is not predetermined. AI is this incredibly powerful tool, but it's up to us how we use it, right? Do we hand over the reins and hope for the best, or do we actively shape how this technology evolves?
Right.
Ensuring it amplifies what makes us human, not diminishes it.
Well said. And on that note, I want to hear from you. How would you feel about AI becoming your co-writer, your editor, or even, your translator? Head over to the show notes, check out Makajewski's full article, and let's keep this conversation going. This is The Deep Dive, signing off until next time. Keep those minds curious.